I think legacies they're not up to us always on how they're left. But I'm so sorry, Ameera, why were you saying no?
This is absurd, and this is the problem with our generation. This is what you are, just a product of that, of this like mentality of like, oh, the world is so bad, and I don't mean to make fun of you, but here I go. It's like the world is so bad, and I'm so scared because why bring another human when there's so much suffering in the world?
I am a proud Peach man, but I will tell you from the annals of the other Peach people that as we have our conferences every year, um, we honestly don't give a shit. The educated versions of us don't give a shit if we're getting breeded out of America. Nobody gives a
This is exactly what those in charge want. They want white people like Kat and Raul to be this way, to be like, I don't care. I don't care about my race. Yeah, let the rest of them have America. That's fine. It's cool. I love, I hate Trump because he's racist. And
they've waited 6 years for a grandchild, and now they have filed a lawsuit saying that if their son and daughter-in-law don't give them a grandchild within a year, they owe the parents 50 million rupees, which is equivalent to $675,000.
Damn! Damn, this is wild. They're suing their son for not giving them a grandchild. Being parents is so weird. You spend the first 18 years doing everything you can to stop your kids from having sex. And then as soon as they grow up, you turn into frat bros. Yo, you gotta get laid, dude! And don't use a condom either. That shit's for losers. Just do it. Do it now.
I am so sad that Trevor Noah's gone now. I love that video. I've seen that video. Trevor Noah leaving breaks my heart into a million pieces.
No, he's gone for real?
Yeah, it's over. It's over. They did a goodbye. I cried a little bit.
I haven't seen it. I'm not ready. I'm still holding on.
I'm still not ready. It's over and I'm still not ready.
So the reason I wanted to play that video because I wanted to ask the final question. I know everyone had a chance to get it. I don't know if you got it, Ameera, but it's how important is it to leave a legacy?
In our culture, it's very, very, very important. I mean, this is something that, even I go through already because I haven't me and my husband haven't had babies yet. So we get this all the time. So, I mean, I understand. But when it comes down to in-laws suing their son and their daughter-in-law because they didn't produce, you have to ask, like, what was the conditions upon marriage? Because some families, especially like Eastern families, that is one of the conditions. Like they say, like if you don't give children within the first 5 years, then you're liable for divorce. But that's why I say, so it depends on the conditions of marriage, because that could be a reasonable thing, what they're saying, if that was a condition of the marriage. Now, if it wasn't a condition of the marriage, like in my case, it wasn't a condition for me to do that, then that's just, in-laws being sour because they don't have a new baby to play with. But I mean, it's like, you're not going to be the ones raising the child. Most likely it's going to be them. So they're the ones that's going to be up all night with the baby, not you. So forcing them to do something that they, don't want to do. But at the same time, guys, Americans, I don't understand why you guys don't have more babies in America. I really don't, especially white people. I don't understand why whites aren't having more babies, because their population in this country is going down so quickly and so, and they're being replaced. They're being replaced with Latinos. So I don't know.
Speaking for me personally,
who you're half and half?
I'm half and half. I don't want kids. It's not something with the way everything's going, with the way I see the world. It's scary to have kids. It's scary to think that, they could leave your home and not come back. And I know,
oh my God, really?
And I know quite a few friends who, which I know she wasn't reacting to me. She was reacting to something else. That was just really good time.
No, I was reacting to you. I was reacting to you for sure. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Mm-hmm. But because it's just, there's so many things that you can't control. You want to control things, but there's things that you can't control. And there's also things that, I have a friend who can't have kids. Can't do it. And I think having a legacy is so, for some people, when it's trying to leave something behind, but you can't control with what people do with what you leave behind. Like if you're like, oh, I did this, I accomplished this great thing, but then people look at you like they're like, did you though? Was that really you? Was that, you can't. So to a point, I think legacies they're not up to us always on how they're left. But I'm so sorry, Ameera, why were you saying no?
This is absurd, and this is the problem with our generation. This is what you are, just a product of that, of this like mentality of like, oh, the world is so bad, and I don't mean to make fun of you, but here I go. It's like the world is so bad, and I'm so scared because why bring another human when there's so much suffering in the world? But you understand, we are living in the best times. Like our grandparents and great grandparents, they were living in times where they didn't have vaccine for polio. There was world wars going on, and they still brought up their children, and they weren't scared like us. They weren't a bunch of, poussé. I don't want to say the word, but poussé. I will say it that way. They weren't like us, like we are today. We were just scared of everything. And it's like, you're just so scared that your poor child will have a bad experience one day. And it's like, that's life. That's that's the beauty of it, is the unknown and the problems that may arise, and death is part of life. All of this is, and just, it's just a whole generation of people who are just like, I'm scared because bad things happen, and Trump.
Ha!
Oh, don't get Raul Duke started.
And Trump. That's funny.
Let me just say, fuck that Cheeto motherfucker. First off, most.
Did you say Cheeto?
Yeah, the man's orange. He's not white anymore. We don't claim him.
Sir, you are peach yourself. You are very peach there. You're like not that white.
Okay.
I mean, no, there's different classifications.
Right here, where the rest of me is bloated and looking like Cheeto dust is blended on my skin. I am a proud peach man, but I will tell you from the annals of the other peach people that as we have our conferences every year, we honestly don't give a shit. The educated versions of us don't give a shit if we're getting breeded out of America. Nobody gives a fuck what color you are. We're just trying to survive like the rest of you. A legacy. Of course, your parents want you to have children so they can have grandkids. But there is no discussion in white families about, well, you need to have more kids, otherwise America won't be white anymore. Maybe for the redneck losers, they will think like that. But the rest of us who have elevated our thoughts, we don't give a shit, okay? We're just trying to survive the same way as everyone else. Have kids if you can. If not, not. It's more concern for white people how you behave. I honestly don't care what color you are. I care how you behave in society. Are you a part of it or are you not? Are you lifting people up or are you crabs in a bucket? There's a big difference. And that's what I care about. Most of us do not have this mentality that a lot of you who are not within the white society see as, oh my God, these people want to have their own pseudo culture and they're just trying to blend us all out. I understand you meet a lot of assholes like that, but most of us are not that way. We don't care. We're the same as you. We're just trying to survive. Children are expensive. That's the biggest thing for most of us. It's a very large expense to have kids. It can completely, if you don't do it right, you can fuck it up bad. The same way Kat was saying, and Ameera was, giving her a little bit of hell about that. You should just go ahead and go with it. It's chaos. Get with it. We agree. Most of us agree too. But we're not, there's no secret meetings, okay? Where all of us get together and say we need to have 20% more Irish and 13% more, English. We don't care. We're just trying to survive. Can you afford to have children?
I want to respond to you, Raul. Because this is exactly, and I know, Kelly, I won't do it. I won't go Alex Jones. I won't do it. But this is exactly what those in charge want. They want white people like Kat and Raul to be this way, to be like, I don't care about my race. Yeah, let the rest of them have America. That's fine. It's cool. I love, I hate Trump because he's racist. And, I want all of us to get along. It doesn't matter your color. We're just all going to get along. This is what they wanted. And Kat and Raul are the perfect prototype for what the future of America looks like. People who are afraid to bring in children or who don't care to bring in children because they feel like, well, somebody else can do it or it's expensive or I don't want to.
Wait a minute. Why is it better if we have children than the Hispanics? Why is that intrinsically better?
It's not that it's better, but this is America. This is your country. And the population of this country is going down, just like Japan's population has gone down. Korea, we have people that the society is dying. And this is why we say Americans should produce. They should produce children and have bigger families. But I guess maybe it is better now just to live in a little apartment by yourselves and maybe have one or maybe just a dog. Remember what Kevin Samuels used to say? Buy a dog and die alone? Maybe that is better.
No, Ameera, I don't consider it to be bad. I consider it to be enlightenment. I consider us all to be humans of the same race. So who gives a shit what they look like? That's okay. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's regressive for you to think the other way. I think it's regressive for you to say, we must have more black people. We must have more Hispanic people. No, go fuck yourself. We're all humans. Behave properly. What is your culture bringing up? Are you lifting others up? Are you doing the right thing? Or are you evil bastards that want to slit each other's throats? I'll choose option A. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what kind of food you used to cook or what culture you had 300 years ago. Go fuck yourself. I don't care. We're all humans. Those of you who really want to separate us out and really give a shit about that I'm Hispanic and I'm black or I'm Italian, I think you are lower than me. I think you are not thinking high enough for our species. That's
very white of you.
Thank you. Step up. How about that?
So I don't this is funny. This is an interesting turn of events here. But what was the question?
I don't know.
Okay. How important is it to leave a legacy?
Fuck yourself so many times.
How important is it to leave a legacy? Go fuck yourself.
Yes.
No, seriously, leaving a legacy is of the utmost importance. There is nothing more important. A lot of the time when people ask me why I got married as such an esteemed bachelor in my day, right? It's simply, the answer was very simple. I said, well, I'm under a lot of pressure by tradition. I was going across that age, that line where it's like, you better do something. Everybody who lived this life too long will eventually get burned by it, right? You're going to have a child out of, whatever. You need to start your life now. And my father was 100% right. You do something for too long, you won't want to give that life up, right? So leaving a legacy is of the utmost importance because if you look into the future, right? I don't like to use my own understanding. I'm 36 years old, and yet I love to find out ways where I'm still inept. I'm still immature in many ways. And everybody thinks, we're grown and we're people, but you can never stop learning. And I'm glad that I'm able to look at my elders and people older than me and say, okay, what are they doing? What's important to them? So I know how I will mature and the things that will ultimately be important to me. And the one thing I know no one can do without, what depresses most people, men and women alike, of every culture, is when they get to a certain age and they've done nothing to leave their stamp, to leave their mark on this world. It affects almost everyone. Even the people who say it don't affect them, on their deathbed, they're like, I should have done more. And I shouldn't have. So, we know that is something that the human component of you wants to do. So there's nothing more important than leaving a legacy. Every move we make is tied to it, right? The reason why we get mad, upset, regretful about things is because we know we put a stain on our legacy in a sense, right? So yeah, there's nothing more important. And on back on y'all previous point, Rourke, I do think America could do with more Nigerian people. We're awesome. So yeah, just maybe a million more.
Mm.
Leave the scammers in Nigeria, but bring the engineers, bring the engineers, the
There
doctors.
are several of your princes that owe me at least $2 million.
America needs new kings, and I think we're up for the job.
Lapeef, did
All
you
my
have
cousins,
anything?
bring y'all ass on over.
Lapeef, did you have anything you wanted to add as far as how important it is to leave a legacy?
I mean, I'm good as far as with legacy. I always said I wanted a part of me out there, so I think it's a wonderful thing to actually just because I'm a lead. I'm gonna lead the world. I'm gonna lead the earth. I'm gonna be gone, and when I'm gone, I just want to be somebody to be able to carry on the tradition. One of the things that I did notice is that when I was growing up, my family did have a lot of traditions that they would typically do. Like you had the family reunions and big gatherings, but as we got older, those things seemed to have been limited. As soon as people started falling off, transitioning, you just started seeing less and less of those things. So I think when you look at it in that aspect, it's up to us to kind of create these new traditions or decide whether we want to keep the same traditions that we had within the family. So I do think that legacy does have some importance, but it's up to you whether you want to push it or not. Me personally, I'm just glad to have some little mini me's running out there.